So Stephen Miller spent like 10 extra minutes on this topic alone outside of the White House trying to get it through these reporters' thick ass skulls what they're getting wrong. And they still don't get it, but here he is at least having a go at it.
This whole entire conversation has been wrong from the beginning because nobody was mistakenly deported anywhere. That's like the big fact that most of you have gotten wrong. No one was mistakenly sent anywhere. The only mistake that was made is a lawyer put an incorrect line in a legal filing and they've since been relieved of duty. He is El Salvadorian. He is an illegal alien. He was deported to El Salvador. I would welcome anyone here to tell me what country they think we should be sending El Salvadorian illegal aliens to. And I just wish we lived in a country where the media gave 1/10 a damn as much about Americans who were murdered and brutalized and savagely killed, beaten to death, as they did about whether illegal aliens that we all agree are illegal aliens should get 1 million days in court and 1 million trials and 1 million this and 1 million that. There's 15 million illegal aliens that violently enter the country. If every one of them got the trial that you're asking for, it would take us centuries to remove them. Centuries. We've been talking about this in 300-400 years. Their great-great-great-grandchildren will be the ones representing them in court.
Liberals want that. Liberals want it. They don't give a crap about American citizens, but they give so many craps about these criminals. Yeah.
Well, and they want to do all this due process court stuff because this was the plan all along. They brought all these people here to like gunk up the system and make it almost impossible to get anyone out. So when we try, they fight it every step of the way because they count on these people to vote for them. Right. This is all by design.
They count on criminals to vote for them. Yeah, they're gunking it up, you guys. Gunking it up.
It's getting gunky all up in here. Yeah. And then the guy, is he a representative or is he a senator? Van Hollen, that Chris Van Hollen guy. I forget if he's a senator or a representative. Does anybody know offhand? It must be a senator. It must be the senator. He is now saying, I'm going to El Salvador and I'm going to see what's going on myself. Bukalele, like that. He's telling him he's going. And so this was tweeted at him. Hey, Chris Van Hollen, Rachel Marin, a Maryland mother, was actually your constituent and she was murdered by an illegal immigrant gang member. And now you're fighting to return one to the United States.
What a piece of shit this guy is.
How do they always take the wrong side?
And then they get elected. I don't understand it. They're not working for constituents. They're working for criminals. What is wrong with everybody? Get these people out of office. Seriously.
I do not get it.
I don't either.
Harrison Fields was on with News Nation and the reporter on News Nation was just actively defending Garcia to the point where he was like, no, I'm not moving on. Well, I'm going to set you straight. And it was pretty contentious, but also this guy was awesome. Check this out.
The reality is this wasn't a Maryland father. This was a El Salvadorian man who was illegally in this country, who was affiliated with MS-13.
There is no evidence to that.
Let's set the record straight about who this person is.
There's no evidence that he was a gang member.
With all due respect, if the Department of Justice has come out and said that he has gang affiliations, just like the same man who killed Rachel Morin had gang affiliations. So you would have told me before Rachel Morin's death, you would have defended that man and said he had no gang affiliations, and he went on to kill Rachel Morin. So instead of defending this gentleman, talk about who he actually is and talk about the risk in keeping illegal criminals in this country. This is exactly what President Trump was elected to do, to return these people back to their home countries, and that's what he did.
We're not defending him. I'm going to reiterate that is unsubstantiated. There is no evidence of him being a gang member. He was married he is married to a U.S. citizen, and he was in this country legally. Okay, but we don't know if he was
Being
actually...
married does not make you not a gang member.
There's no evidence. We're going to move on. There's no evidence that he was a gang member, and I want to reiterate that to our viewers.
The Department of Justice came out and said there was credible evidence that he was a member or affiliated with
You said he's a gang member, and he wasn't
fact.
legally allowed to be here, which, again, he was legally allowed to be here. And he is married to an American citizen.
You can hold court for him all you want. He's no longer in this country.
All right.
The Americans are safer because of it.
And to go back to the original question, so right now the White House seems to be doing nothing about getting him back, and that's fine. I'm going to move on.
He's an illegal immigrant. Okay. He was here illegally with deportation orders in 2019. What part of that do you not understand?
I understand the story very well, and I'm going to stop going back and forth with you on this, but I will say, again, he had every right to be in this country. Is there any scenario under which
he was an illegal immigrant.
We're going to move on this.
No, I will not let you go forward. Okay. He was an illegal alien in this country with a deportation order in 2019. He is an El Salvadorian citizen. If you are not a citizen of the United States of America here illegally, there are grounds to deport you, in which happened recently.
He got her, man. Like, she was on the struggle bus there, and she should have been. The hill that these people want to die on. It's
amazing.
It's remarkable to me, right? Like, they stand for all the wrong things. And I think a lot of it, so much of it has to do with the fact that this is Trump. Like, imagine if it were Hillary Clinton, you know, who actually, you know, was for, if you look at old videos of her, we can find them. You know, all you got to do is get on the Twitter machine. You can find videos of Obama.
We've shown them here. Yeah,
right.
We've shown them.
You can find videos of Obama and Hillary Clinton and, you know, all these Democrats who were for getting illegals out of this country.
And finding them if they were here and they were staying, finding them and like making them learn English and doing all the things.
Hillary wanted to do that. And so this is the thing. The only reason that one of the several reasons that these people are so against it now, it's because Trump wants them out of here.
Yep.
And anything that Trump does, they're like, oh my God, we have to do the opposite. Orange man, bad.
He's so bad.
So they're just, their minds, their brains are so decayed with hate. It's insanity. Why do you want to die on this hill, lady?
I don't know, but to your point, she was struggling.
Yes, she was struggling.
So maybe you're a little bit under when it comes to your finances, and you've got some creditors that are after you. Maybe you've got collections calling you about some things. There is no shame in that. After the last 4 years that we went through with Biden, no shame at all.
That's right.
But there is a way that you can keep more of your hard-earned money, and it is by talking with the strategists at donewithdebt.com. So these are experts. They don't do loans. They don't make you file for bankruptcy. This is just real debt relief. They have strategies that can help you. They negotiate directly with creditors to help cut down your bills, erase penalties and interest fees and things like that. So they can really, really help you, and they work with you until your debt is gone. So there's no cost or obligation to have a consultation with them, no risk involved. So if you are struggling, don't wallow, no self-pity. Just give them a call or visit donewithdebt.com. And again, you can talk to one of their strategists for free. There will be like a little drop down on their website that asks how you heard about them. Please just name drop us. We appreciate that, and get yourself the help that you need. donewithdebt.com. Jennings also set Abby Phillips and the rest of the panel straight on this Garcia issue. Here he is.
To go back to a couple of the points that were made on the Garcia case, I think you guys need to understand, for the Trump administration, there's no version of this man's life that ends up with him living in the United States. Here's the way they view it. He's an illegal alien from El Salvador who came to the country illegally, who has a deportation order, who, in their view and in the view of some immigration courts, has an affiliation with MS-13. I'm telling you that their view of it is that it's an El Salvador citizen who was sent back to El Salvador, who was in the country illegally, who, according to some people in his long process, which does include an existing deportation order, believes that he has an affiliation with MS-13. As I said, there's no version of this man's life where he comes back. And let me say one more thing. The people that want him brought back need to understand something. If the president of El Salvador releases him, and we do facilitate his return, when he lands in this country, one of two things will happen. He will be arrested, and then he'll either be sent back to El Salvador, where he is now, or some other country that I promise you don't want to go to. He's not going to be allowed to come back and live in this country as though he is a U.S. citizen. He is not. Two issues. On the Secretary of State making a comment, the reason the administration believes they got a big win at the Supreme Court is because the district court was trying to compel the executive on foreign affairs. The Supreme Court threw that out. That's not what the Supreme Court has ruled. And what Marco Rubio is saying is true. The courts have long recognized that they cannot compel the executive on foreign policy matters. That's number one. Number two, what they also believe is that politically, the American people want them to be as aggressive as possible and pull all the levers they can pull to solve a crisis that has festered for years. And, you know, we keep calling this guy Maryland man in the press. Nobody seems to worry about the Maryland mother, Rachel Morin, who was murdered by someone that the previous administration let out of jail.
But not
so
by
this is a visceral political issue.
He's not conflating. He's not conflating anything. You hag.
Nope.
And I'm worried about it. He says no one. I'm worried about it. A lot of you guys are worried about it. I know Mock is worried about it. So there are some people that are worried about it. The right people who are on the right side of things are worried about it.
Yeah, because we're not all like looking for a way to defend the worst people. Right. And that's all Democrats do. They constantly look for ways to defend the worst. And it is
criminals.
Again, it's a crazy strategy. I will never understand it, but this is what they do. You guys remember Mahmoud Khalil, the Colombia guy that is also facing deportation and is being held somewhere in the South. I forget where, because of all of his like super anti-Israel actions on the Columbia campus. Stephen Miller was on Fox News yesterday and was asked, is that person also going to be deported? And here is what Stephen said about him.
Will Khalil be deported from the United States? Quick answer on that, please.
Yes, he will, as will anyone who preaches hate for America. His organization said they wanted to eradicate Western civilization.
Unbelievable.
Look, under this country, under this administration, under President Trump, people who hate America, who threaten our citizens, who rape, who murder, and who support those who rape and murder are going to be ejected from this country. And I just wish a fraction of the media outrage that we had over deporting terrorists and deporting monsters and deporting their sympathizers from this country was spent crying over the blood that was shed of American women and children over the last 4 years, or crying over the 500,000 children that Biden trafficked into this country, or crying over the neighborhoods destroyed by gangs and drugs and fentanyl. Cemeteries are filled with tombstones from Americans that were killed by Joe Biden and Mayorkas and his administration, suffering beyond imagination. We just arrested an illegal alien who committed sex crimes against 20 children. Sex crimes against 20 children freed by a sanctuary city. So I'll reserve my sympathy and my empathy for the Americans being brutalized by these monsters, and we will not apologize for getting these monsters the hell out of our country, Bill.
Yeah. No apologies. Now they need to start taking a hard look at northern Texas.